this? First time in history of British politics that a British leading party is operating from instructions outside of UK. And you know which party that is. It's getting foreign fundings and so forth. And it's a big concern for us that so far they have raised so much funds. How is it that the Labour Party is going to conquer that? Is foreign intervention. And secondly, you mentioned that you're going to fill the House of Lords. Are they going to be filled with people like Toby Shaukat and Mayor Liaquat, the great 30, 40 years of service to the Labour Party? And what are you going to do, sir, to stop this foreign funding that the Conservative are getting and to beat you? That at the moment, they've got 3 times the funding to fight 3 elections and Labour hasn't got one. How are we going to raise this?
We're going to fight them wherever they are. Beat them wherever they are. I'm not making any promises to anyone, but I'm determined in our representation. We're so proud of our Muslim representation. I want to see more of it as we go forward. I'm really pleased there are Muslim candidates coming through as parliamentary candidates. Really, really good. So that's fantastic. Thank you so much.
Sir, is this first time in history of British politics that a British leading party...
As Britain's political landscape continues to shift ahead of a pivotal general election, Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer finds himself at the centre of renewed controversy. A journalist's probing question this week spotlighted allegations that Starmer's campaign has accepted money linked to foreign interests, a charge that underscores growing concerns over transparency and the influence of external funding in British politics. While the Labour Party has firmly denied any wrongdoing, insisting all donations comply with Electoral Commission rules, critics argue that the party's increasing financial clout raises uncomfortable questions. The public deserves clarity about who is bankrolling our political leaders, remarked a senior Conservative MP. Foreign money has no place in influencing Britain's democratic process. This scrutiny comes at a time when financial disparities between parties are becoming more pronounced. Labour has enjoyed a surge in donations from major unions and private donors, while the Conservatives face challenges stemming from donor fatigue and internal divisions. Reform UK, capitalizing on anti-establishment sentiment, has also been gaining traction, but remains financially outpaced by the 2 major parties. Yet amid the controversy, British politics is also witnessing a historic and largely celebrated milestone: the rise of Muslim representation in Westminster. For the first time, a record number of Muslim candidates are standing for Parliament across multiple parties. This surge is not only symbolic of the nation's growing diversity, but also reflects the increasing political engagement of Britain's Muslim communities. Representation matters, said Ayesha Khan, a political analyst at the Centre for British Democracy. It sends a powerful message that Parliament should reflect the demographic realities of modern Britain. We're seeing Muslim candidates not only running but gaining winnable seats. Labour has fielded a significant number of Muslim candidates, continuing its long-standing relationship with diverse urban constituencies. The Conservatives and Liberal Democrats have also increased Muslim representation on their tickets, acknowledging the importance of broadening their appeal to a more diverse electorate. For Starmer, balancing these dual narratives, championing inclusion while addressing allegations of financial impropriety, will be critical in the coming weeks. As the general election looms, the Labour leader must navigate not only the political battles against his rivals, but also the broader debate about who holds influence over Britain's future.
Really, is that right? It's too late. Chris, it's too late. Why would Reform merge with the Conservative Party? The Conservative Party, I carry a bit of the blame for this because I was in Parliament. We made ourselves unelectable, right? That's why people went out and voted Labour. No one knew what Keir Starmer was. No one would have voted for him to cut the winter fuel allowance and, cancel farmers, break the British farms up. No one knew what it was going to do. The Conservative Party in 14 years of government managed to trash its own brand. And one of the things that trashed it was getting rid of Boris Johnson. We shouldn't have done that. Managed to trash its own brand. We have a damaged brand. On these results last night, Reform have a growing, good brand, liked by people. People want to go out and vote for them. They've got energy about them. They are not going to want to add the Conservative Party, currently in decline, of course that can change, to what is an extraordinary political movement with momentum.
Also, Jake Berry, the support they've got on the left now, they wouldn't accept a deal with the Tory party.
So, Chris, the really big test for reform, and it's not a fight that I think the Conservatives are going to have a dog in 12 months' time, is going to be those Welsh elections. That is their opportunity to run a country here in the United Kingdom. Most opinion polls have them ahead. It's proportional representation, so it favours them as well. And you know, all of those places, if you look at where they're doing really well, it's towns like Blaenau Gwent, it's in the Welsh Valleys. As soon as the Labour Party was able to go, well, they're really the Tories, they wouldn't vote for them.
So these are staging posts on the route to number 10, according to, well, certainly Zia Youssef, the party chairman. Can they maintain that momentum? I think now it's likely Labour go long for the election into 2029, not short.
I think those of us who wake up every morning and pray for an early election, I can freely admit I'm one of them, are sadly going to be disappointed. Look, in terms of the momentum, this is a fantastic sprint. This we say, often an election like this is historic, and this is.
But this feels it.
This really is. This is the breaking of that old two-party system. The Conservative Party, the oldest and most successful political party in history, humbled by the upstart of reform in a huge set of local elections in our heartlands. This is historic. Now, what a springboard for reform! If they go on, if they maintain this momentum, and the next big staging place, it's all eyes on Wales. If they go on and they win in Wales,
then what?
That makes Nigel Farage, in my opinion, more likely to be our next Prime Minister than either Kemi Badenoch or Keir Starmer.
That's a big thing to say as a
I know, but I'm a gambler. I do like making predictions, but look,
that's big.
That would be an extraordinary thing. If they were running a country in the United Kingdom, Wales, they'd have power over things like taxation. They have the ability to cut up to 10 pence off income tax. They'd control planning. They'd control energy policy. They'd control the NHS. And if they can make that a success, they can play that out as a blueprint for Britain.
In a startling admission that underscores the shifting tides of British politics, former Conservative Party chairman Sir Jake Berry has acknowledged that Reform UK's surging performance, particularly in Wales, could propel Nigel Farage into serious contention for the role of Prime Minister, surpassing both Kemi Badenoch and Sir Keir Starmer. Speaking candidly in the aftermath of bruising local elections, Berry reflected on what many within Conservative ranks have privately feared, but few have dared to say publicly. If Reform UK win in Wales, that makes Nigel Farage more likely to be our next Prime Minister than Kemi Badenoch or Keir Starmer, Berry declared, noting the profound implications of the party's growing appeal among disenchanted voters. Reform UK delivered a stinging blow to both Labour and the Conservatives in council races across the UK, making notable inroads in traditional Tory heartlands and Labour's so-called Red Wall constituencies. But it was the party's unexpected strength in Wales, a region often seen as Labour's stronghold, that has sent the clearest signal yet of a political realignment underway. Berry's comments reflect mounting anxiety within Tory ranks as right-leaning voters, frustrated by perceived Conservative drift on immigration, net zero policies, and the cost of living crisis, migrate toward Farage's more uncompromising platform. Meanwhile, Labour faces its own challenges in recapturing working-class voters skeptical of Keir Starmer's leadership and policy positions. Though Farage has not formally declared his candidacy for Prime Minister, his recent rhetoric suggests he is readying for a larger role. In speeches following Reform's local election gains, he has framed the party as the true voice of the British people, rejecting what he calls the cosy cartel of Westminster elites. Within Conservative circles, Berry's remarks have sparked fierce debate. Some argue that a Conservative reform pact may be necessary to prevent vote splitting that could hand Labour an advantage. Others fear such an alliance would cement Farage's dominance over the right, effectively sidelining rising Tory figures like Badenoch. For Labour, the potential rise of Farage introduces new complications. While Starmer has consistently positioned himself as a centrist alternative to conservative chaos, he now faces the prospect of defending against a populist insurgency that could peel away votes from across the political spectrum. Thanks for watching. Drop your thoughts below and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join our Telegram for more updates and exclusive content.